Hello everyone and welcome back to our blind let's play Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. My name is FlightlessBird, this is your story-based gaming channel, and today we're gonna start investigating the crime scene here. Let's talk to Gumshoe first. Yeah, pal! Hope you all having a wonderful, fantastic day today. Man, I just realized that, yeah, pal, came out really weak. Sorry. Anyway, let's dive into this about investigating. I'm so excited, pal. This is my first real crime scene. Well, let's get investigating. Detective Gumshoe. I thought investigations were supposed to be conducted in a calm, collected manner. Huh. What do you know about how to run an investigation, little boy prosecutor? I know that at the very least, I have a greater grasp than you of what happened here. Why you? You don't know any more than me, pal. Wow, it's so weird seeing these two like this. Because, you know, Gumshoe has this almost reverent, holy look of Edgeworth. And to see him talking this way to him, it's just, like I said, so weird. Look, you just stay behind me, boy, and get out of the way. Ironic, coming from the guy that's been a step behind me the entire case. You notice anything? It's my first time setting foot inside the courthouse. Who would have thought it'd be my first case as a detective? But, you know, I get the feeling I'll be coming here a lot more in the future. As a suspect, detective. Of course not, pal. Anyway, this lobby's actually pretty luxurious. I mean, for a defendant's lobby, it's got a pretty big TV. Oh, and there's that tea set on the table over there. Bet you didn't know that I like to drink tea. Wow, this room is really decked out. If it means spending time in here, maybe being a suspect isn't such a bad thing after all. I'm beginning to suspect that leaving this detective in charge of anything might be bad. But he is right. This room is rather well furnished. And somewhere in this room, the truth is slumbering. It's time to find it and give it a wake-up call. The murder. So, Detective Gumshoe. Yeah, what is it, boy? Grr, of all the people to call me that, this detective is by far the least qualified. I wanted to ask you about how the investigation is proceeding. See for yourself, pal. Oh, did I get a great detective bad or what? Do I do it great? Yeah. Has this man not a professional bone in his body? Very well then, I will inspect the victim's bodies myself. Whoa! What is it, Detective Gumshoe? My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal. Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one. Oh, let me see here. Wow! This thing is huge! Wow! And way too noisy. You're the noisy one, Scuffy. Don't touch it. You'll get your fingerprints all over it. But I didn't touch it. Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work. The foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to show up on. Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on this case? Fear ain't real. Looks like they killed each other to me. Although, there are a few things that just don't seem right. And what would they be? Why don't you try thinking on your own first before you bother me, boy? What? Now I've been downgraded to just boy? There's some stuff in the bag there, pal. I suppose this was Mr. Faraday's bag. It's probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him. This is the evidence? I better not touch it. I'll leave fingerprints all over it. Do you just not pay attention to anything you do? There are some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of a disturbance. Well, yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. The tea set and plastic bags on top of the table are completely undisturbed. Maybe they were super quiet in the scruffle. After all, I didn't hear anything from them out in the hallway, you know? Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor are throwing us off. This is gonna be the same, isn't it? Yeah. I knew that because you mentioned the tea set. This decorative plant's foliage is quite nice. It's actually something to be around, soothing. It's actually soothing to be around it. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room. Alright, and that's the same. I thought I was gonna be able to look at the couch. I see. Did you figure something out? This is a competition, Miles. And as such, I'd appreciate it if you did talk to me. As you wish. Oh, she's really competitive. It looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rel. At first glance, it seems they both must have killed each other. However, using logic, the only logical conclusion is, aha! What was that outburst for? Well, my detective's instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Rel that fell first, see? You don't need that detective. You don't need a detective's instinct for that. It's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. Alright, first off, what are these bags here? Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? These bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, detective. You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? Normally, I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy. Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? Used to store evidence are strewn all over the floor. I like that word, strown, or strewn. It's hard to say, but it's a cool word. Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand. So he shot Mr. Rel and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun. I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one. And I hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. But it sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. Pew pew! It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand. Alright. It looks like Mr. Rel died with the knife in his hand. There's some blood struck on it. Then he must have used this as a weapon. Yep, there's no doubt about it. Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot down some notes about it. Mr. Faraday. How ironic it was for him to lose his life in a courthouse. Well, yeah, why'd it have to be like this? I don't know what to say. I can't believe this happened while I was on watch, pal. Rather than beating yourself up, you could spend your time continuing the investigation. Did you become a detective in order to solve the crimes? Well, yeah. Then get back to work. Find out the cause of this murder. Alright. I'm on it, pal. First, he killed a Kotopian embassy staff member, and then he was murdered himself. This guy wasn't exactly an angel, you know? Oh, what makes you say that? Well, he's been hauled into the precinct several times for theft and assault, pal. So yeah, he's definitely the type to have committed a murder or two. Well, he did admit to killing Mr. Dead Man. Hey, good point, pal. I know my detective's intuition was telling me something. Detective's intuition? Yep. Do you know about it? Special feeling that all we don't have time for this conversation right now. Let's return to the investigation. Anything about the scarf? No. Alright. His hand is all blacked down here, see? I wonder what it could be. Oh, sorry, that's Gumshoe. His hand is all blacked down here, you see? I wonder what it could be. If you look closely, this blotching pattern resembles an ink stain. Miss Faraday has ink on his left hand. Why is there ink in such a place anyway? An ink stain? Yes, I usually get ink on my own hand when I use my feather pen. A feather pen? I've never seen one before. Sure you are just making it up, pal? Mr. Rel's cause of death was from being shocked, correct? Well, that's what we think. It's hard to tell with him lying face down. Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth. Are you sure they were trying to hide something? I can't confirm Mr. Rel's cause of death with his body positioned like that. Detective Bad, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail if possible. What's this? You're not able to form a theory with them the way they are? I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you? I suppose you do have a point. Val, hurry up and get on with it. Lebby. Yes, sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir. And there you have it. All the dots. All the dots. Do you not approve? Well, of course not. What? Investigation of a crime scene and the work of a detective. So don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will ya? Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir. Gumshoe. Do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you are a detective. Yes, sir. I understand, sir. Knife wound? Bullet wound? Pen? There's a knife wound in his chest here, see? I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rel is holding. Lebby. Yes, sir. Verify now, sir. Make it quick. From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rel is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. Mr. Faraday is holding a gun in his right hand. Well, that's the one Mr. Vale got blown away by, right? Will that be your answer? Yes, sir. We found that the ballistic markings do match that gun. Oh, ballistic markings are the figurative fingerprints a gun leaves on a bullet when fired. Every gun leaves its own unique ballistic markings. Therefore, by looking at the markings on a bullet, you could tell which gun it came from. Well, yeah, that's it. Of course, I already knew all about that, pal. That's maybe you better be bed above, going back to the academy. Eek! Come on, sir. Cut me some slack, will ya? So, the bullet that was fired from this gun is what felled Mr. Rel. There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bad is always telling me you should always write your name on everything you own. Yeah, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual. Okay, what else? Let's see, the knife? It looks like Mr. Faraday was stabbed with the knife that Mr. Rel is holding. Ouch! What's wrong, detective? My stomach started to hurt from just thinking about being stabbed. Just keep your mind on the case, alright? First, he killed a Kodopian embassy staff member, and then he was murdered himself. This guy wasn't exactly... Okay, we've read this before. Probably same for him as well. Some string here. It's not, oh, that's not string. That's the outline of the bodies. So dumb, FlightlessBird. Alright, let's back out. Let's go into a logic bubble. And let's say... ink stain with fountain pen in pocket. That splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand, I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen. Oh, let's ask the lab guy. Detective Gumshoe, I confirm that the substance of Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his own fountain pen. I see. Good work. You know, I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just the one time in my life. Oh, the dots. If Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand, I think it's fair to assume that he was left-handed. It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well. Okay, if you say so, pal. I love how Gumshoe's just blocking out Francisca there. The Untitled table, plastic bags. I don't think these two connect, but there's not else here. Aha! There is a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table. And yet, a portion of them wind up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle. In which case, might there not be another explanation as to how they got there? Well, another reason? I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow. Eek! Please get the blood away from me, pal! Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag? Well, hold on, let me ask the lab guy. Alright, please hurry. Man, I'm still feeling stuffy. I hope you guys aren't hearing that in the background, but man, I'm telling you, ever since I had COVID a month ago, it's just not been easy. Wait to get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technician said that they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either. It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence. Okay, you say so. I'll leave it in your hands, pal. Plastic bag jotted down. Alright, well, we don't have any more logic. This blood here is from Mr. Faraday, but there are no other clues to be found, which begs the question, do I need to put this bag inside another bag in order to preserve it as evidence? The fountain pen? It seems Mr. Faraday was in the habit of using very nice fountain pens. Well, that's the total opposite of me. I don't get those things at all. Yeah, I know how you feel. I'm a big fan of the fine, what are they called? I don't know what they're called, but the Pilot G2 pens, that's it. I only know because I have one sitting next to me. The fine Pilot G2 pens, I use those for like everything. Heh. Well, I think the pencil behind your ears suits you just fine. Really? Think so, pal? Man, I knew it was worth something. That wasn't exactly a compliment, detective. Yeah, always have a pen and paper next to you whenever you play a game, because you never know. This looks like a quality nib. Hey, let me test it out, pal. Oh, this is really... Ack! I got ink all over my hand. Detective Gumshoe, don't ever play with evidence like that again. Doesn't seem to be anything else there. Can't examine the knife. Can't examine the handgun. Can hear a side struggle. Ah, I see. Did you figure something out? This is a competition, Miles. Oh, okay, so she's not gonna talk to me. The TV has been left on. Ah, why are you looking at me like that? It wasn't me, I didn't touch anything. Gumshoe, you do know what happened to you if you touch something again, right? I won't touch anything. I won't even go anywhere near the TV, sir. And you, get back to investigation, all right? I was planning to do so anyway. I keep accidentally clicking on the TV when I go to talk to Bad. Alright, so this is gonna be the same. Alright, what am I missing? Open window? The window is open and... Hey, there's a fresh flowery scent in the air. Ugh, the flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly. Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change? Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after fall from the 3rd floor. Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows? I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right? They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. I can't go over to the detective. I'm still missing a piece of logic somewhere. And I'm not sure where. Did I check his bullet hole? Shot in the chest. Takes some guts to fire a gun in the courthouse. I mean, I've been detective for a whole week and I still haven't found a single riot yet. There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean... Wait, burn marks? A round goes very hot as it's discharged from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when a shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away. Handgun data updated. You sure do know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal. Apparently, this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. Let us now try to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case. Man, what a crazy way to go. Still, something about the explanation just doesn't seem right. Crime scene notes jotted down. I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other. No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there's actually a contradiction that shows there is another possibility. Ah, no way, pal! Really? I suppose I'll just have to show you the conflict in this crime scene. Alright, so what is the conflict? He's right-handed. He's left-handed. And he's holding the gun in his right hand. This. Now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene. Hey, you're right, pal. It does seem kinda strange. But how could something like that happen? The facts add up to one conclusion and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died. Someone else? Plastic bags scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of violent intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us. Huzzah! Not bad. September 10th, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Here's the autopsy report. It is probable that Mr. Vale survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from a stabbing. Interesting. How did he die instantly? It looks like they know now everything they need to know about this case. Are you sure we know everything? Of course. The incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get his revenge. The prosecutor vented to a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There's absolutely no margin for doubt. Do you really believe that to be the truth? Ha! Are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you? That you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright. If you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is. Don't worry, I will. Face to face with young Francisca. What happened? Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Vale survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Vale. And Mr. Vale, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory. What happened? Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Vale survived for a short time. Do you truly believe that Mr. Faraday died instantaneously? I have the ready report right here. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously or shark due to being stabbed in the chest. There, you see? It's been documented clear as day. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Vell. Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Vell before he died? Do you have any basis for that statement? Your foolishness has no end, does it? Now I hate to repeat myself, but however, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. That's all the basis I need. Alright, so Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. Then he must have attacked Mr. Vell before being stabbed. You're finally beginning to catch on, I see. And Mr. Vell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. So you believe that the dying Mr. Vell stole the knife from Mr. Faraday? Mr. Vell died because he became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So the two men struggled. And in the end, Mr. Vell was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition in this room is a testament to this struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound. Can you really say that is perfect? What are you insinuating? Nothing. However, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise. So if you could append that statement to your testimony. Fine. They struggled, and Mr. Vell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday. About this statement. Mr. Vell used all of his remaining strength to take the knife to defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my mighty crop could do. See, I told you. I see. See, it's not a whip. She admits it. It's not a whip. It's a riding crop. How does one compare the damage her crop could do with the state of this room? Furthermore, all the plastic bags on the floor in this room were scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else that I can explain for you? No, that will be fine. These are the facts of the case. Claiming speculation as fact already, don't you feel that the evidence is a bit lacking? You'll find all the evidence you need just by looking around this room. Mr. Faraday collapsed on top of Mr. Vell. In addition, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, making a counterattack impossible. Furthermore, the room is a total mess from the fight. I dare say that there's more evidence here than you could whip at. It looks like she's becoming more and more confident. And looking at this place, she might have a right to be. After all, everything here seems to support her theory. It looks like you're starting to see my point. I've as good as won at the dog competition. There's something strange about Francisca's theory. I should compare her claim with the data I've gathered thus far. I just know there's a contradiction somewhere. So the question is... this line right here. It's annoying because what I want to say doesn't necessarily go with this line. Because she said the room is perfect. And I want to attack that line. But that's not one of the lines I can attack. But I'm going to attack it anyway the way I would attack it. And that is with the, where's the teacups at? I don't have teacups here. So I can't say the room was perfect. So if he died instantly, how is he on top of him? It is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Vell. They struggled and Mr. Vell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday. But yet the bodies are in reverse order. His body should be on the bottom because he got stabbed.
Objection!
Francisca, I advise you take a look at this piece of evidence. And what are you trying to say with this? I'm saying that this piece of evidence doesn't contradict with my testimony. Erg. Okay, that's not correct. Miles Edgeworth, just face it, I'm going to win out of the competition. I had to calm down and do a better job of finding a flaw in the logic. I don't know what to say here. Like, I know what to say, I just don't know how to say it. Has Faraday's blood on it. And he's the one that got stabbed. Miles Edgeworth, you dare try to blow through this by presenting unrelated evidence. You're a disgrace to the Von name. Could I have it all wrong? What am I doing wrong? It's obvious that Mr. Faraday died. I still think the position of the bodies is wrong. But yet that's not working. And where, pray tell, would my contradiction lie? Nowhere. Exactly. Could I have it all wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Maybe it's this one. But that's impossible. Like, seriously, there's no way he could have died instantly and then killed the other guy. And when you look at this evidence, if he stabbed him and he died instantly, then he would be on the bottom and he would be on top. That's a contradiction. But yet that's not working. Well, one thing I can do is I could, considering my health bar is already halfway down, I could, go through all the testimony and press everything and then, give wrong evidence just so we can see what the ending would be like losing to Francisca. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna go back through this evidence. I'm gonna try to figure it out, and at the same time I'll get this wrong. Yeah, I'll be back in a few. It would appear that I am the victor. Wait a second, Francisca. I don't need to hear any more from you. As I've always thought, only I am worthy of the Von Karma name. Was that really the best I could do? Losing to Francisca. Thus the truth was lost for all eternity. Alright, let me go ahead and load, and we'll jump right back into this. Alright, so I pressed all the statements again and listened to what was being said. And this was the key statement that Edgeworth wanted more details on. And when I press the statement, it's all about the fight. Yeah, so they had a big fight. And then there's plastic bags. So there was a big giant scrum is what she's trying to say here. This is the thing I need to attack. So I need evidence that says that there's a big violent scrum. Not the badge. Could open embassy staff member Manny Cochin found not guilty. Thank you, Green River. Correct by pronunciation. It's Cochin, not Koikin. Although I do like Koikin. I thought that was kind of a cool name. Okay, nothing here. Gumshoe's testimony was on hall and guard duty. Other than gunshot, didn't hear a sign of a struggle. There's a big violent fight. And didn't hear a sign of a struggle. So if there was a big scrum, he would have heard something. Bullet was fired a few yards away. Behind in Faraday's hand. Quality nib. I guess that's a point. Faraday's blood. And I already tried this. So the only thing is that I can think of now is there was a big scrum, but how did he not hear anything? There we go. All right, progress. Woo! I was thinking of the wrong thing, and this has happened to me so many times at Ace Attorney before. And maybe I'm finally learning. Maybe I'm finally learning when my brain is thinking of another thing that I need to argue to stop thinking in that direction and just focus on the statement. Because I still think there's a contradiction in the way the two guys are lying, but that's not something I could have attacked. So therefore, I need to say to myself, okay, that's not something I can attack. What can I attack? And let me focus on that. If the two men were fighting, the struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified he heard absolutely nothing. Ha! You place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know. But, for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. Val get his hands on the knife? Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It's not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Val saw a chance and took it at some point. Oh, the dots. So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Val took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Val after being stabbed. Isn't there something strange in Francisca's statement just now? I think I missed it, but logic tells me to say yes. Wait, something doesn't add up. Oh, really? It's simple, not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. Right, because he died instantly. Where's the autopsy report? Where's the autopsy report at? How do I present this information? Like, I know what I need to say. Wait a second. Fired from a few yards away. Maybe I present this because if he was stabbed, he couldn't have fired a few yards away because he would have died instantly. There. Nope, that's not it. I thought that was it. I guess not. Wait. Was that it? No, that wasn't. Okay. that one fooled me there. I did. I should have probably said that line. I didn't realize that was a different line. I had to think this over one more time. Mr. Rell grabbed the knife from Mr. Faraday's bag when he wasn't paying attention. And Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed by the knife. But it just doesn't add up. I do have evidence, but I don't have the autopsy report. Crime scene notes? Why can't they just give me the coroner's report? Yeah, if I would have had that, that would have been easy. According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantly, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired the gun after that. Oh, you get me. But of course. Well then, if the report is correct, then there is only one correct explanation. If they suppose that Mr. Val attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantly, would have been unable to kill Mr. Val. Therefore, Mr. Val must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot, and then they both died. That is the only explanation that makes logical sense. Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Francisca. I just wanted to explain it to you simply as possible. Before you falsely oppose a prejudice theory that only a foolishly fool like you can foolishly do. How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francisca, you still got a ways to go. What are you talking about? Oh, you say there's a flaw in my logic? Mr. Faraday died instantly, and the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. The contradiction here in the crime scene is the order the bodies fell. Yeah, that's what I've been talking about for like, 15 minutes now. Actually, I have no idea how long it's been. Let me get this straight. What you are arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. Then, the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot, and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order in which the bodies are piled. Exactly! That's what I've been saying for a while now. Oh, the dots! No! Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's, therefore, Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday. Impossible! Yes, I agree that it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene that we must solve is... No, not so fast, Boss Edgeworth. What now? I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And then it's even clearer now that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent. She sure bounced back quickly. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong. What happened? Part 2. It was chance. It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Bell's. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order. I just know that Francisca's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I had to do is find a hole in her logic. Once I do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction. I think I already found the contradiction. Because here's the thing. Let's say he came at him with his knife and he shot him. He shot him from a few yards away, which means he would have shot him and then he would have fell backwards from the shot, or he would have like stumbled, or he wouldn't have continued forward with the blade and stabbed him like he did. I mean, I guess you could. I mean, the guy who got shot didn't die instantly, so it's possible. Let me hear the press statements. What happened? Part 2. It was just by chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Vell's.
Hold it! Objection!
Whoa, I didn't even get a chance to say anything. Press someone's testimony and order to gain some time to think. Wow. You're a real one-trick pony, aren't you? It's too bad your trick only works on fools. Though that wasn't my intent. I simply wish for more details on how Mr. Faraday ended up on top of Mr. Rell. Huh. Someone's impatient. I was just about to explain everything to you. So do you think you could hold on for a minute? Arg. Francisca, I'll make you a deal. I'll hold on if you hold on to that whip of yours. Oh, I'll hold on to it, alright, as I whip you. Arg! Well, now that you've quieted it down a bit, I'd like to continue, if you don't mind. This is one very serious and determined 13-year-old. She hasn't changed a bit in like 7 years. If anything, in 7 years, she's got even more ferocious. The two bodies fell into a pile.
Hold it!
The two fell on top of each other. Don't you find that just a bit strange? Not at all. Arg. I can see it in her eyes. She's dead set against me from the bottom of her heart. Miles Edgeworth, once I'm done here, you'll see that there's nothing strange at all. Now then, the two men fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time.
Hold it.
What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time? I assume Mr. Faraday had the two different weapons in his hands. He made it to attack Mr. Val while holding both the knife and revolver. And then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Val grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. That is how Mr. Val wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. So that doesn't make sense to the evidence, because as I said a few seconds ago, the gun was fired a distance away from him, not on top of each other. At close range, that is more than possible. Yes, it's possible, but... Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got. Okay, I will. And to that extent, I'd like you to append what you just said to your testimony. Huh, I don't see any point to that, but as you please. That fact indicates that they attacked each other at the same time from close range.
Hold it.
Close range, exactly. You were saying that they attacked each other at the same time from close range? Exactly. Mr. Faraday pointed the gun at Mr. Vell's chest and pointed the trigger. Mr. Vell then took the knife from Mr. Faraday and stabbed him before he fell unconscious. The dead Mr. Faraday instantly fell on top of Mr. Vell from the stabbing, pinning Mr. Vell under him where he died shortly after. And that's how they ended up on top of each other with no contradictions to be seen. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order.
Hold it.
Do you really believe they fell in the exact opposite order in which they attacked? Miles Edgeworth, you're not listening to a word that I'm saying. Arg! They both attacked each other at the same time, and Mr. Vell fell first by chance, leaving Mr. Faraday to just happen to fall on top of him. Then Mr. Vell died shortly thereafter, pinning underneath Mr. Faraday. That's how it happened. So the two men attacked each other with Mr. Vell randomly falling down first. The fact that the order that they attacked each other in varies from the order they fell in doesn't cause a problem for me. However, there's definitely one certain aspect I'm having trouble swallowing. I am too. This one right here. Close range. We know by looking at the evidence, the gun says fired from a few yards away. Yards? Yards. Ah! Sorry, I'm getting all stuffy. Talking for an hour. Or almost an hour. And like, yeah. So you believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it is written in the crime scene notes, the firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Vell's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Vell and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards. Ah! Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. And would there be no chance that Mr. Vell moved that far after being shot? That leaves only one possible explanation. What a completely foolishly done and foolishly thought from a fool, foolish fool! If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill? Huh? Who? The person that attacked first with murderous intent, that would be... that would have to be... Was it a setup? I mean, it would probably be Mr. Faraday because he had a gun, right? And then Mr. Vell had a knife. But could it be neither? Nah, it has to be Mr. Faraday. Mr. Faraday, of course. Hey, pal! What you're saying now contradicts with what you said earlier. Well, oops. I have to rethink this carefully. Neither? Here in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can only be one explanation. there was a third person here. Someone who set up the entire crime scene. That makes sense. Oh, they explained that! It was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell, and set the bodies up to make it look like a double murder. That third person is a real culprit. Oh, the dots! Miles Edgeworth, there's just one thing that you're missing. Evidence, correct? Exactly. Everything you said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. However, there is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person involved in the crime? Of course. If a third person was truly here, this fact would resolve that glaring contradiction. That proof that this has all been a set made it look like they killed each other. I'll present it and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that's not yet in place. Where is a piece of evidence that proves there was a third person involved? This? Because it shows that someone made it look like they were fighting? I think that worked! The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand and the plastic bag with his blood on it. These two items point to the presence of a third person. How so? Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony. And I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground, meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around. Oh, the excluded dots! Do not see the possibility in this. Disregarding the gun for the moment, there's a high probability of blood splatter with a knife if used on a person. And the culprit held a knife with a plastic bag around it. They could use the bag to catch any blood splatter from when they withdrew the knife. Ah, it's clever. Because yeah, when he withdrew the knife, as we know from previous trials, it's gonna make a mess. And as I know from playing the quarry, removing your knife from a wound is not a good idea. Then by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence. Ah! Nice job, Edgeworth. Looks like we still got a long way to go in this investigation. Yes.
Objection.
Who was that? Oh, look at the judge! Oh my god, that's the first time I think we've ever seen the judge, like, above the waist. What the heck's up with you, pal? Mr. Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Oh, what? What's the meaning of this, Ha! Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates. Don't you, dare, That detective claims you were standing there, in front of the door the whole entire time. But I have it on good authority that it was all a giant lie. The excluded dots, Mrs. Yu, I ask that you please explain that last statement. I'll let his honor explain it himself. I saw it with my own eyes, I tell you. During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway. What? See, Mr. Bad? So I ask you, why would a detective who was supposedly doing his job the whole entire time want to fabricate such a lie? Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday? No! Of course not, sir. It would appear that the one who set this whole crime scene up is that detective, which basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. It looks like your perfect logic has just come tumbling down, Miles. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. Was that statement really a lie? Detective Gumshoe, you're now a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now, spit out the truth, or so help me, I haven't lied to anyone, sir. Honest. I really was there. I was in the hallway this entire time. Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I am the one that is heading up this investigation, am I not? Feel the depths. Don't talk like you know what's going on, boy. All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly. Perfection is the only wish of a disciple of a comer at a... Therefore, before you take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something. And, what's that? What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? State of the hallway. Was he in the wrong room? Detective Gumshoe, I take it that no one else was in the hallway at the time, correct? Huh? Oh, of course not, pal. You're being awfully defensive. Might you be hiding something from me? Watch your mouth, pal. You can't go around saying stuff like that about me without any evidence. I suppose you're right. I have no evidence at this point. Master Edgeworth, how could you be losing a battle of wits with this detective? You're a disgrace. Yeah. Maybe I should ask about something else. Motive. Because he says he was in the hallway. So motive. I suppose the one thing I'd like clarified is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime. Motive, huh? Gumshoe, you got a grudge against Faraday or anything, No, sir, not me. Not a single bad thing about Mr. Faraday, sir. Is that a fact? You really have a problem with lying, don't you, Detective Gumshoe? I'm telling you, I am not lying. The more unnatural you act, the more suspicious you become, you know. If you want a motive, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here. Could you please share it with us? However, be forewarned that I won't hesitate to object to fight of fancy, because all I'm interested in is a perfect explanation. You're serious, aren't you? Fine. You amuse me, so I'll humor you with a little courtroom practice. Gumshoe's motive. Alright, before we get involved in this, I'm gonna go ahead and save because we're well over an hour. I love you all so very much. Thanks for everything. And when we get back, we're going to be arguing against you. And I still think she did it. I think she's trying to frame Gumshoe or trying to frame someone else because I'm pretty sure that she blames, this guy here. Not Manny. Mac, was it? Wait. If she blames Manny Cochin, then why would she kill... Why would she kill this guy? Why would she kill this guy then? Huh. I don't know. My deductions here aren't adding up. Oh well, I like a good mystery. So I'm glad that the answer isn't so obvious. My name is FlightlessBird. This is your story-based gaming channel. This is our blind Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations. Until next time, my friends, so long and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you'd like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. But before we go, please remember that you matter, and you are brilliant, and you are loved, and you should always be true to yourself. Never let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly, feathered, flightless bird.